As I said, incredibly, our first two speakers of the night. That was incredibly, by the way. As Toastmaster, it is traditional. You have to get it in as many times as you possibly can. The third speaker tonight is actually speaking from slightly further on the Competent Communicator Manual. This is speech number 5, Your Body Speaks. So one of the things that they'll be trying to achieve is to use body language effectively as part of the presentation. So, with how to publish your first novel on Kindle, which I'm quite excited by because my book has sold precisely 3 copies. J.K. Rowling is watching her back, I tell you. With her first novel, how to publish your first novel on Kindle, please welcome Harriet Myers.
Master Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. It's actually how to publish your first book on Kindle, and I must admit that I have got no experience in novel writing, but it should be useful. So, I'd like to thank Nick for stealing my thunder. I was going to open with a question, anybody got any New Year's resolutions? But I can't ask that because I know that you all have. Anyway, last year I did actually make a resolution, and I not only achieved it, I doubled it. And my resolution was to get a book published on Amazon, sell it on Amazon in the Kindle format. And it's this is the cover, not actually the book. It's called The Toddler Behaviour Handbook, 57 Ways to Stress Less and Laugh More. Now, not only did I achieve publication, I actually now help my copywriting clients who want to get their books published. So I thought, tonight I'm going to tell you, if you've got a book inside you, you can definitely get it published on Amazon. It's absolutely possible. That book was on my website for 3 years, and in the last 6 weeks I've sold probably about the same amount of copies on Amazon as on 3 years on my website. So there you go. So without further ado, let me give you some key pointers to publishing on Amazon. Okay, first thing I call the Tom Cruise principle, and it's this: keep it short. Okay, if this is your first project, you're going to run into procrastination, you're going to run into frustration, obstacles, and writer's block. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. There's no reason why you can't write a 5,000 word guide and charge, say, 99p for it. There's no rule against it, and in fact what I'm doing next is I'm putting a series of 4 very short guides on Amazon, which will then hopefully advertise that one. So it's absolutely possible. Make it as easy as possible, and then what will happen is when you've got your first project out of the way, you will have a massive push of motivation to do the next one. There is nothing like going up to your friends with your iPad, your iPhone, and say, look at that, and I'm on Amazon. They say, oh, and then they go, oh, and you've got a review. It's fantastic, I tell you. Okay, key point number 2. This is really important. Structure. Okay, structure is like scaffolding for your ideas. One thing it will help you do is to make it easier to write your book. If you've got a very robust plan, it's easier to write it, but also it's easier for everyone else to read it. And the other thing, which I only discovered when I published it, is having a good structure makes writing the sales page a piece of cake. Oh, sorry, has anyone given up cake for New Year? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain to you, take you on a very short tour of my ebook, and you will understand how structure is so important. So come over here. So the question is, how do you get your toddler to behave? And the answer is, use the triangle. The Toddler Triangle is a system I developed to help you not only control your toddler's behaviour, but become a calmer and more confident parent. And also, you get your toddler to become calmer and more confident. There are 3 parts to this: understanding, techniques, and empowerment. Okay, understanding. Now, toddlers may seem incredibly illogical, but the truth is that they're actually very, very predictable. They are going through the same massive developmental changes. So they've got potty training, they've got learning to share, they've got speaking, walking, you name it. It's very difficult being a toddler. And this is where all of the tantrums and all of the defiance springs from. Now, if you can use some techniques which spring from that understanding and work with toddler psychology, you are going to find that life becomes all of a sudden much easier. So I'm talking about things like alternatives to time out. A lot of parents find that time out just doesn't work. I'm talking about certain ways that you can use questions with children of this age group that will turn their defiance into cooperation without them even knowing. It's brilliant. And things like using simple picture cards which will reduce tantrums by 50, 60, 70%. These things really do work. And the last part of the toddler triangle is empowerment. Now, what you'll find, and many people who've tried these out have found, that just using these techniques is empowering because, as I say, you're working with toddler psychology. You're not pushing against it. But to me, empowerment is something much more than that. Empowerment is being able to keep cool when you feel like screaming. Empowerment is being able to step back from your toddler's mini soap operas and stay in control even when the child isn't. I've done quite a lot of research on this, and I've come up with some really quite fun mental games you can play with yourself to basically change your mindset. So I'm talking about things like what I call the mental loyalty card. Things like short-term change trials. And the best thing when you feel like screaming, texting salvation. Okay, so that's structure, and I'm hoping that you can see how much it will help you in all stages of writing your book. Now, just a quick word about formatting. You actually write your book in Word format, but Kindle requires a specific conversion. Now, Amazon have a function on their website where you can upload your Word document and they'll turn it into a Kindle book. And I am going to get down on my knees now and I am going to beg you, please do not use this. It's a nightmare. I've tried it. You find your beautifully laid out Word document. You have the chapter headings on the bottom of one page and all the text is leapt onto the other page. Don't get me started about boxes and images. It's a nightmare. I paid £30 to get this professionally converted. Same thing with the cover. And it's incredibly reasonable what you can get a good cover for. This cost me about £15 to be professionally designed, and I'm really pleased with it. So that's a very quick introduction to the world of getting your book published and out there on Amazon. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
And again, can we please take a minute just to give some feedback to Harriet?
What? What all that?
Is your camera still going?
Oh yeah.